welcome to the Alumni Couch. It is so great to have you here.
Thanks, Corinne. Nice to see you. Yeah, so my name is Vivin, or Viv for short. Working at Australia Post as a design researcher. And usually when I say design researcher, no one really has an idea what that means. So essentially as a design researcher, my role is to understand customer behavior. So everyone who interacts with Australia Post, and I'm actually in the digital team as well. So understanding customer behavior and seeing how they interact with our digital products and services at Post. I started at Australia Post in 2017, joined the grad program. And at the time, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I started the program, I was a business generalist, which essentially as part of that program, I had the opportunity to work in different parts of the business. So to start off with, I was in the air freight team, so in logistics, and then I moved into customer strategy, spent a little bit of time in the legal team, and then worked as a business analyst in the digital team. And so really different, diverse roles, as you can imagine. But when I was going through all those different rotations and those different teams, in the back of my mind, I was really loving the customer interaction that I was getting. So anytime that someone was doing some customer research or wanted to listen to a customer call or something, I'd jump straight in. And so over time, I sort of figured out, wow, I really love chatting to customers. Why don't I actually follow this and make this out to be my career? And that's how I sort of landed where I am now in the digital experience team at Post. Yeah, so sort of when I think I'm probably halfway through my last year at Western, I started thinking about, okay, like where do I want to work the next year? And at the time, what I sort of thought was, I'll put in an application for Australia Post. My mum actually has worked at Australia Post for 30 years. Wow. So I was like, oh, this might be a cool place to work.
Yeah.
And so put in an application. I noticed that it was in Melbourne. I was, at that point in time, I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind working in a different city for a little bit as well. Saw that as a challenge. So there were a lot of steps in the process. So putting in a resume and a cover letter and all that sort of stuff, and then had an assessment centre down in Melbourne. And that was when I sort of knew that Australia Post was what I wanted to work for. Yeah, I guess for me, the biggest one was like just be aware of all the things that you've done throughout your life, which might apply to a grad program. So when you're putting in an application, just think about all those little things that you've been involved in, which can really add value and make you stand out from, because some of these applications have thousands of people apply. And so, for example, for me, I went on exchange to Slovenia, most random place that you might be able to think of. Most students go to the US or the UK, but I went to Slovenia, and throughout my entire application process at Australia Post, I kept referring to that and sort of showed that, yeah, I was willing to take a challenge, step outside of my comfort zone, go somewhere where not everyone else goes. One of the biggest highlights in my everyday job is when I do an interview with a customer, and at the end I get some feedback from the customer on how they thought the session went. And anytime I get any feedback which says, oh, this session was so enjoyable, sometimes you'll get people say, I love that Australia Post is using this opportunity to chat to me and get my feedback. So for me, on a personal level, that's probably my biggest career achievement, or like that's what gives me the greatest satisfaction. Finding a mentor when you start work. So finding someone, whether it's someone more senior than you, even someone who's on the same sort of level as you, just someone that you can bounce ideas off. If you're having a bad day, someone you can chat to about your experience. I found that has been really helpful throughout my whole career. You can find me on LinkedIn, it's under Vivin George, so Vivin, and George's surname. Yeah, feel free to hit me up and ask any questions that you've got.